Hi, welcome to Rivetea, or welcome back if you've been here before. I am Long Hair Linda, and I'm going to be recapping season 1, episode 8 of Love and Marriage DC. This episode is titled Friends or Foes. Now, I have already recapped the first 7 episodes of season 1. You can find that on my channel. Subscribe while you're there, and let's jump into episode 8. So we open up episode 8 with the argument between Erana and Winter, at the point where Erana asks Winter if she thinks she is mentally effed up from her previous relationships. Winter says no and asks whether she is mentally effed up from her relationship because she has walked through the same infidelity that Winter has. Erana says, no ma'am. She hasn't gone through any of what Winter has gone through. Her husband didn't have a baby with someone else. Winter gets upset and says, we are not going to bring up the past. Girl, you did that. You shouldn't have opened the door by trying to liken Irana's relationship with yours. Like, her relationship with Jamie, her 26-year marriage, is not the same as your failed marriages, sis. I'm sorry. Erana is visibly upset at this point, and she's in Winter's face, pointing, and honestly, I get it. Winter is being shady, even in her confessionals, but trying to act like there's nothing wrong with what she's been saying. And she's trying to compare Irana's relationship to hers, but doesn't want Erana to explain the clear differences between their relationships. And she just, she doesn't want Erana to talk about her past marriages. She doesn't want people to have opinions on the information that she has volunteered unprovoked. The hypocrisies and contradictions. Winter keeps telling her to sit down and stop cussing, and in her confessional says Erana may be the oldest, but she is not anyone's mama and needs to sit down and have a seat. Both sis? Okay. Erana is trying to make her point about it not being the same thing, and Winter asks if they're trying to have a contest about, to find out who's been cheated on the best. Again, she knows what she's doing here. There's no proof that Jamie has ever cheated on Erana, but there are children sharing your ex-husband's DNA. So maybe if it's a contest, you won or lost. I don't really know the parameters of this game. Erana stresses that she was actually trying to ask Winter if she's okay, after her relationships. Now, granted, in a shady way, since it came right off the back of her turn, keep Jamie's name out your mouth, are you okay? Because that are you okay is shady. No one's going to appreciate that, to be fair to Winter. And Winter responds that, hey, she's fine. She's seen a therapist, and asks if Erana has seen one. Erana yells that her and her husband are great. Winter is still talking mess, and Erana makes it clear that her husband has not slept with anyone else and is not a scammer. As Winter walks out, she retorts with, you have no clue what your husband is doing. Oh, really, sis? But you don't talk about people's marriages. You don't talk about rumors. You're not that type of woman. Oh, okay. It was actually quite interesting to see Erana like this. Winter doesn't surprise me anymore. Anyone that continues to tell you who they are as a person, what they are as a woman, is usually the opposite of that, or usually just is lying to themselves, and that's why they keep saying it over and over again. It's delusions. But what was surprising to me was Erana just being about it. I did not see her as being the confrontational type. Like, yeah, she's usually the calm one. She can stir a little stuff. She can do a little something, but she's peaceful. But let me tell you, she does not play about her marriage, and I love to see it. Jamie, Erana, and their kids, Jason and Brittany, are at Jamie's signature CIAA basketball tournament event, the first Baltimore event post the vid. Quick and Ashley show up since they're in Baltimore for Quick's own CIAA event, and Quick says in his confessional that there's no competition with Jamie after, the producer of the show asks about the two events happening at the same time. Back at the venue, Quick and Jamie talk about their bet about selling out venues in Baltimore, and Jamie says Quick did 2,500 people. Quick says it was actually 3,000. And Jamie reminds him that he's not from Baltimore and shouldn't be able to come out and, sell out any venue that he's had. I don't know, it sounds like a bit of competition to me, but okay. Ashley interrupts, saying she's tired of Quick and Jamie's back and forth, and Quick says he needs to get water since he's pacing himself for all of his events. Ashley asks if he's pacing himself for that gout. Monique and Chris arrive, and the couples congratulate Monique on her new morning radio gig. Chris says the kids are wearing him out, and Erana tells him that he's doing good. Tasha Lyon arrives and is back filming for some reason. And Monique says Tasha has missed on a lot. She's missed out so much since Monique's return from the motherland, and Tasha got filled in. She's like, well, I already know what's been happening. Monique in her confessional says Winter can go and tell everybody her story, but what she doesn't appreciate is being told a different version of events by Winter and being put in an awkward position. The producer asks what Chris's take is on the situation, and he says he's just working on himself, man. Great answer. Monique apologizes again for the part that she played as messy producer and says that she clearly got the wrong story. Tasha says there were a lot of, misunderstandings when Winter delivered the information to Monique. And Ashley says in her confessional that it's clear Tasha is Team Winter right now, and they don't do winter. Everything dies in the winter. Erana tells the husbands their nicknames that Winter gave them, and Quick tells us in his confessional that nobody has a nickname for Winter because she doesn't exist. Tasha, clearly still on the Winter bandwagon, says, when I talk to Winter, like, from her point of view, like, with you being her friend, as she points to Monique, you are her friend. Maybe you should take a pause back and check on her. Monique says that she will, because she didn't know that Erana was going to go meet with her. And Erana says Monique definitely needs to check, not check on, but check Winter, because Winter told Erana that she and Monique have known each other for 15 years and can tell her anything. Tasha interrupts and is like, wait, I didn't say check her, I said check on her. And Erana interrupts to tell her that she asked Winter if she was mentally okay. Tasha says, that's shady, and even Ashley raises her eyebrows. Jamie cuts Erana off as she's trying to tell the ladies the conversation with Winter didn't go well. Erana told Jamie to walk away, but he's done listening to this story. In her confessional, Ashley says Jamie was a little aggressive with his approach, but I'm with Quick on this one. I'm sick of all this Winter stuff. Yes, she's messy. You guys aren't feeling her, neither am I. And Jamie just wants them to have a good time, so they do. At Winter's, Monique is coming over to discuss the meeting with Erana. Monique wants to, be the peace. She wants the peace to come back in the group, and she doesn't know Winter the way she's been portraying herself these past few weeks compared to the 14, 15, 16 years that she has known Winter previously. Monique starts by admitting to telling the ladies about the nicknames and says she doesn't like when people nickname her husband if they're not cool. Oh, we know, Monique. We know.
So while you sitting over here having fake fraudulent relationships with your ex, your kids ain't even happy about it. You sitting up here sitting like a darn fraud, bringing a different man onto the reunion every freaking year. I hope he's sitting behind you this year, Pastor Holy Whore. Ooh. Since you want to keep calling my husband big boy.
Monique goes on to say that she's been through that before and she doesn't feel right not telling her friends the full story. That's interesting though, because you didn't tell the full story. You didn't tell the part where you found it funny when Winter was talking about DJ Fun Size, but I digress. Winter says in her confessional that she's concerned that she won't be able to talk to Monique as a friend like she has been doing and isn't sure what this means for their friendship moving forward. Is she a casual friend or a trusted confidant? Winter tells Monique that Erana had her finger in Winter's face and only mentions the part where Erana says her husband hasn't cheated on her. Winter, of course, also adds a little sauce to it, but she says she's going to start wearing a body cam since Monique is so shocked by the things Winter is saying. Yet she's probably in disbelief because you keep missing out your own behavior whenever you tell your little stories and add your extra sauce to it, because it does sound crazy when you tell it like that to a friend. Winter refers to Ashley and Erana as gutter Barbies in her confessional, and when a producer asks what that means, she says they are pretty women who aim low. Monique says she knows in her heart of hearts that this can be a sisterhood as they all have things in common. They're mums and businesswomen. Monique wants to get rid of the layers of confusion to help get better. Winter starts to cry. She says the things that Ashley and Erana are saying are awful because these are the things that have devastated her family, and it's low. She doesn't care how mad they are. I don't doubt that this has been very trying for her family in all seriousness. What I don't understand is how you can keep coming for people's marriages and expect them to not fight back. You expect these women to not say anything to you when you are coming for them, right? You clearly have been trying to one up the ladies since that first vegan dinner at Monique's house. And the thing is, because you gave them so much tea about your life, you gave them so much that they could use against you. Now that's what they're using against you. You can't give everyone ammo and then make them an op. Make it make sense. Monique tells Winter she is strong and that she underestimated how much she was actively going through at this time. And Winter says out of all the ladies, Monique left her feeling abandoned because she kind of just jumped ship. Monique says she didn't jump ship, you know. Winter had never been this vulnerable about the situation with Kevin, and Winter says it's because she thought the separation would just go by easily and she would have the divorce, but she's still fighting him. And in her confessional, Winter adds that the conflict with the other ladies is shining a light on how much she's been carrying while trying to socialize, be a mum, going to school, running a business, and trying to be present with her family and friends, and it's all taking a toll on her. I would push back to this because you've been divorced once before. You should know that it is not straightforward ever. And even if you've been married for a short time, like, it's never going to be, oh, you know what, I found out some things I didn't like. Separation, divorce, nice and easy, smooth. Listen, it's a bonus if it can happen that way, but I don't ever see a dissolution of a marriage. Like, it's never going to be that easy. It's just not. I wouldn't go into it expecting that. Let me just say that. But yeah, Monique says if she didn't sense how much she was, you know, being affected by all of this stuff going on as long as she's known her, the other ladies definitely wouldn't have known what was going on with her emotionally. In order to move forward, Monique says they will all need to own their part.
And whether her jab was meant to be a defense mechanism or not, it's still a jab, and it still can be hurtful. And I completely understand that.
I actually really commend the way that Monique kind of approached the situation. She addressed Winter's jabs while also, you know, sympathizing with her, but she definitely pulled her card. And I think that is a good thing, like not kind of feeding into the whole victim narrative when it comes to her relationship with the ladies, but also making it very clear that she sympathizes with what she's got going on in real life. I think she handled that well. Monique is hopeful that the other ladies will come around when they understand that Winter is still very much going through the pain of her last marriage ending the way that it did, and thinks Winter needs a support system around her. Winter says in her confessional that she hopes Monique can go back and convey Winter's heart on the situation, because she's not ready to be vulnerable herself, basically. And whether the ladies are receptive to it or not, she knows the truth. Winter says to Monique that the saying, check in on your strong friends, is really real. Okay, fine, I'll let you have it, Winter. I agree with Ashley that you're definitely going through something, you're definitely hurting, but you are taking it out on the wrong people. Save that energy, save that vim for your alleged scammer ex-husband. At Jamie and Irana's, Teri the intuitive healer is on her way, and Jamie sighs as if he hadn't already agreed to another session with her. Jamie says in her confessional that for this session, he's more interested to hear what Teri will say about Erana. He doesn't want the heat on him, basically. When Teri arrives, Erana tells her that the last session was interesting and that she will be working on her issues with perfection. Jamie interrupts by saying that Erana is beating around the bush, and what she really brought Teri over for was to tell him more about what he's doing wrong. Erana says she just wanted to talk about herself for a minute, and Jamie snaps back with, well, Teri asked what we brought her here for this time. Teri stops their little back and forth and says she saw their interaction, and if other people are seeing the eye rolling, etc., it looks like they're struggling as a couple. Teri tells Erana that she's covering up a lot, and even when she's talking to her, it kind of seems fake. She did say, with all due respect. Teri says that they really want the world to see something different than what is going on the inside. She starts her reading and tells Jamie that she saw the edge of an ironing board and Jamie's dad with a black marker in her vision, telling Jamie it's his way or the highway. Jamie says he lived with his dad from aged 8 until he moved in with Erana, and the stern upbringing is the reason why he is here today. Teri goes on to describe a rage in Jamie that is related to missing the nurturing feminine energy from age 8, and Jamie clenches his teeth, and Teri said isn't it perfect, that Jamie married the perfect goddess of feminine divine energy, and she bets he is so tormented sometimes. Teri advises that they both get out of their sort of programmed structures, and Erana brings up Jamie's yelling and temper flare-ups. Teri says perfection is a control mechanism and goes on to ask Jamie if he really loves Erana. The scene ends there, frustratingly. I mean, I'm sure he said yes, but like, that the scene just cut off and that was it. We just moved on. So I guess we're going to move on. Monique and Chris are going to a dance class that's a little more sexy, and Monique says they've never exercised like this in her confessional, but she loves the idea of them joining together. It was actually really, really nice to see them laughing and joking together. It's been nice to not see them argue for the last couple of episodes because they just seem to be making each other miserable before. But yeah, they had a nice little joke and a laugh at this, which was nice. After the workout, Monique says that she was complaining about Chris as always the day before with the ladies, and Chris says he's been hearing it so much and he doesn't like how she's now taking her complaints to other people. Monique says it's not bashing him, but you know, she's explaining what it is and what she's going through. Chris asks, well, what positives are you sharing with them? Monique lists off things like being a good father, etc., but that he's lacking in other stuff, and she's been asking about this from their entire marriage. Monique recognises in her confessional that while she only sees it as venting, she will need to make some changes if it's bothering him. Back at the fitness studio, Chris says he's busting his butt with dealing with the kids, which Monique acknowledged, but that she should tone down on the complaining a bit. Monique in their confessional apologises for being so outward about what she's not getting, even though it's hard for her to tame it because it's bothering her so much, but she doesn't want to upset Chris or make him feel like she's just out here bashing him in these streets. A bit of a weird apology for me, but Chris accepts it, so it wasn't for me to accept, right? At the fitness studio again, the couple are talking about how Monique wants Chris to go, you know, for the things that he wants to do and that they'll make it work. Monique tells Chris that she wants to plan a detox couples trip at their house on the river to try and bring peace between the ladies and Winter. They are hugging and laughing at the end. Seems like maybe the good vibes are here to stay with them, so fingers crossed. Chris, Quick and Jamie are meeting at a bar for some drinks and a catch-up. Chris is talking about the newfound respect he has for people who stay at home and look after the kids full time. It turns out that the bar they were at was none other than Bar 1. And Peter Thomas from Real Housewives of Atlanta and any other reality TV show that will have him shows up for some reason. Quick says the booking that Peter Thomas had turned him down for the CIAA events because he was too expensive was picked up by Jamie. Thankfully, Peter leaves pretty soon after that, and the men start talking about the upcoming detox couples trip. As the food arrive, so does Kevin, Winter's soon-to-be ex-husband number 2. Quick is excited to meet Kevin because he is sick of talking about a man that he does not know. Chris wants Kevin to tell his side of the story, and Quick talks about what Winter has said at the original vegan dinner, and Kevin starts interrupting him to let him know that he's not her ex, he still has his ring on. Quick goes on to talk about the scamming and the living in the mother's basement, and Kevin pulls out a blue binder. Lord. Kevin tells the men that it has been 15 months from the time that they were dating to when they were married. Kevin pulls out a printed copy of Winter's ebook, which is a love story based on their love, which has included a blissful marriage, a blended family of 6 kids, and traveling the world together. He says there were no issues, and Jamie is, trying to skip to the now and ask whether at this point Kevin still wants Winter. Kevin says Winter has made it clear that she doesn't want him, but, he always keeps the room kind of open for whatever's going to happen because there is a love that he has for his wife. Kevin goes off to explain the business thing and pulls out paperwork about a $30 million land closing. Chris is trying to make a long story short by saying someone in Kevin's group was not honest, but Quick wants to know why Winter is saying that he is the scammer. Kevin says he can't speak to any of that, he can only speak to the facts. Quick is happy to take Kevin at his word and thinks Winter is the problem. I was not happy to take Kevin at his word. I don't even like Winter, and I'm good. Something's not right. I'm good on all that. Something's not right. Why is he constantly bringing paperwork with him to meetings with his boys? Why is that happening? Why do I never get any sense? right? So if you're coming here, you want to talk about the facts, right? You have all this paperwork with you. Why is it every scene once you leave I'm more confused than I was at the beginning of the scene? Anyway, for the final scene of episode 8, Monique is making sure that her pets are good before her and Chris leave for the trip. So the Tylers, the Lyons, and the Silvers are meeting the Samuels at their home so that they can get the party bus together to the house in the middle of nowhere. Erana and Jamie arrive first, and Monique says, they may find that they might be a little overdressed. In their confessional, Erana and Jamie say no matter where they're going to go, the Tylers are going to represent. The Silvers arrive next with a big bottle of vodka. Love that. Monique tells the Tylers and the Silvers that a chef will be coming out, but she won't be torturing them with vegan food. She does have something to break to the couples though, but she doesn't want them to feel set up. Monique has been planning all of this for weeks, and she didn't feel right to, bring the sex therapist that was referred to her by Winter and not invite Winter herself to the getaway. Now, it is really funny. I did note that the guys seem to be finding this whole thing very funny, but the ladies, not so much. And now Chris adding that Kevin is invited too feels like... I'm just going to say Chris and Monique have their producer hat on tight for this show. And that is the end of episode 8. So I gave this a solid 6 out of 10. I did. I gave this a 6 out of 10. Not a great deal happened for me. And honestly, I'm just so over this beating the dead horse that is Winter vs. Ashley and Erana. I'm just done. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't. I want to talk about other things. Like, I want to see more about the relationships. I even want to find out more about this whole Winter and Kevin dynamic. I don't want to keep seeing these ladies argue about the same thing. It's so boring. It's so boring. So that's why I gave it a 6. I also was not excited to see Peter Thomas or Tasha, to be quite honest with you. And Kevin talks in too many circles. It's a lot of circles. So he's giving me, somehow he's talking to me, but I'm getting less information. I don't understand how that's happening. There were some nice moments though. There were some nice moments between the Tylers and the Samuels. So a 6 is fine. What do you guys think? What do you rate this? I want to know. Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please like and share it.